Hello there survivors, welcome back to another build tutorial in ARK Survival Ascended. Today we're building a modern garage to park our battle rigs, or if you're not ready for those just yet, you can of course also just use it as a small dino pen. Now this is going to be a modern design, but it's easily tweaked to use different materials. I will use some custom cosmetics in this build, the modern structures one, which is probably one of my favorites to play around with. There's actually a lot of variation in this one, and you can definitely get some cool builds, and you can even of course use this on official. But if for some reason you don't want to play with custom cosmetics, or you can't, you can also of course just play around with the normal ARK structures, like build the walls out of wood, the floor out of stone, the roof out of metal. I don't know, that probably already would get you a pretty nice look. And then of course you can also play around with some paint too. Anyway, this building is big enough to house 2 of the garages or a bunch of your tames, depending on what you want. It uses the new cellar door variation so that we have hangar doors as entrances, so you can easily get in and out. And the top layer actually functions as an aviary as well, so you have some nice spaces to park some of your flyers like pterodons, RGs, snow owls. They should all easily fit in and out. Before we jump into the tutorial, if you enjoy these types of videos and you want to see more, make sure you like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and let's get into the build. Okay, of course, as usual, we start out with a foundation, and we want to make this 7 wide in total, just like this. So 7 wide, and then it's going to be 12 long. So 4, 6, 8, 10, and 12. And then of course we can make sure to fill it in the whole way round, just like this. And yeah, then we have our foundations ready. We just want to start filling this in all the way through to create our proper foundations that we're gonna snap the whole building to, snap the garages to, etc, etc. So yeah, for now we're just gonna fill this all in. There we go. And yeah, gives us our foundation. That's all we're gonna need. It's not gonna get really any bigger, except maybe some ramps on the front. But yeah, there we go. We got our foundation, 7 by 12. Now, before we place down the garages, if you want to skin the floor, whether that is any skins of the Bob Tall Tales DLC or custom cosmetics, you need to do that now before you add the garages, because otherwise, yeah, you can't. And they clip into these foundations. So in my case, I'm going to use one from the Modern Structures Custom Cosmetics, and I'm going to skin every single one. There we go. We want to add in the garages. I'm going to line them up with the back of my garage, and then we just want to go around until we find the right point, because yeah, we want to make sure that it's exactly lined up like this. So there's one foundation left on the side. It's exactly lined up with the foundations here at the back, and you can see that it kind of, well, clips in with the rest of the foundations. You still see the wasteland structure skin, so not all skins might work equally good. For now it's fine, it's like just a little bit more dirty, but yeah, in some cases you might want to maybe just use the wasteland skins beneath the garage to make it blend in. And in this case it's going to be a double garage, so we're going to have one right next to it as well, but we're going to rotate it around a little bit so that it's not exactly facing the same way, and the decorations are a little bit scattered in a different way as well. And then actually in this case we're gonna hide the roofs. We need to do that now, because as soon as you connect any structures to the roof, you can't hide it anymore. So make sure to do this first and get this placement right before we do anything else. But yeah, you can see we now have a double garage. There should be 1 rows of foundations left on both sides. And there we go. That is the start of our garage build. Now, the next thing is very important. Normally, where I'm going to place down greenhouse glass for windows, you probably just want to use normal walls and skin them to a window, or use modded glass instead if you are playing with mods. But yeah, of course, if you're using skins, it doesn't really matter which wall you use. Just the better the wall, the stronger the building is. So probably want to use something a little bit better than greenhouse glass, but just to make it more obvious what is going to be glass, I'll be using greenhouse just to show you that. Now at the back of the garage, we actually want to start adding in our window. And that's going to be 3 high in total. And we're going to bring it out all the way across the back of the building until we reach the other side. And just as on that side, we want to stop one before the end. So the window goes the whole width, just except for the ends themselves. That is where we want to add in full walls and want to go all the way across to the other side like this, and then come back down as well. Now, if you're playing with skins, certain skins, the sides aren't looking very nice, or just for a cleaner aesthetic, I would actually also have a row of walls all the way along the bottom, just to kind of blend in those textures a little bit more. Of course, this is optional because, well, you definitely don't need these structures, but it will just look a little bit nicer in my opinion. And now what we want to do is we want to add some pillars at the side of the window, and here around the middle we want to do 2 of these as well. So right in the middle of the window, so you have 4 windows, 2 windows, and 4 windows once again. And then we'll take out our beams too and make sure we go around the whole edge of this window on the bottom and at the top here too, just to make it look a lot nicer like this. Then it's time for one of the sides, and we're going to raise up this wall all the way to the top, taking it across all the way here to the front and connecting it back up. And also on this side, if we want to, we can hide the foundations a little bit by continuing the walls down here. And then the rest of this we actually also are going to fill in as a big window, just because, I mean, you know, you got your nice garage, you got your nice cars in there, you want to show them off, right? And then the same as the other one, we want to make sure that we have some beams and pillars around it to kind of make a nice border for the window. So we'll do just that too. Then it's time for the front. We want to start with raising this wall all the way up. We can take it all the way across to the other side, just like this. Bring this one all the way back down again. Also, we can hide the foundations here if we want to, just like so. And then we want to find the middle 2 again, and we want to also make sure that we raise up our walls here. And then we'll add a wall here extra to the side and a wall extra on that side, so we have 2 gaps of 3 by 3. Then you take out your cellar doors, your large cellar doors, you switch them to the hangar doors, and you place them in right like this. That is going to be the entrance to our garage. We want to make sure that they always open out, and that is how we get in and out of the build. So we don't need any ramps, we just need these, because these kind of turn into their personal ramps to get into the garage and drive in and out, kind of as they intended, why they added these new structures. So yeah, we might as well use them because they fit right into the vibe of the garage door. Then we can take out our metal pillars, and here we can raise them all the way from the ground up to the corner of the door and connect it at the top across like so. We'll do the same thing here for this one, of course, and have the pillars going back down too. There we go. So that is going to be the 2 entrances to the garage. And then on the other side, you can either repeat the same window for the similar design, but we can also spice it up a little bit to make it look a little bit nicer. Now, what you want to do is you want to take out some quarter walls. We can start filling them in across the bottom section here of the entire wall like this. We can take out our pillars and actually add them on each of these ones. So basically we're creating a little bit of an accent wall that stands out a little bit, and to add some nice depth into it, we will have pillars everywhere. And then we can actually make sure that we connect these pillars back into the ground. Now this will use a bunch of structures, so you can also just choose for a normal wall or the window, but this does look really cool in my opinion. So we'll extend these pillars all the way until the same height of the other walls, just like this, all the way across. And you can already kind of start to see how this is gonna, you know, provide for quite a nice little design, I think. There we go. We'll raise up these last ones as well, and then we should have the full wall of our pillars. We want to take out our quarter walls again, And we can actually start to fill in this entire wall. So yeah, pretty much I just want to go around the whole structure and fill them in. As I said, it will take you a few structures, but I think it does look quite nice. And it's a nice way to make sure that it's not just the same on every side. It's easy if, for example, one side of your garage doesn't have the best view. This is an easy way to kind of fix that, because then you can have this wall on that side and you can have the window on the side where you do perhaps have a little bit of a better view, so that you can, you know, enjoy it as well. Or enjoy the view of your cars, of course, if you're building this next to your existing base. There we go. We can fill in these last ones as well. Just one more to go. And yeah, there we go. That is the first layer of the garage done. Now, just as with any other side, we can also make sure that we can kind of cover up these foundations so that the textures on the outside are going to be all nice and the same. So we'll just go around just like that. And then we have the first layer of the build done. Now, if you're using skins, I would suggest the Modern Custom Cosmetics for the same look that I have. I would now go in and change all these pillars to this black matte marble, because I mean, it just looks really, really clean in my opinion. Of course, if you're not using custom cosmetics, you could just paint these black instead to get still a similar feel. But yeah, up to you. Definitely would recommend getting custom cosmetics, and you can even use these on official, of course, so that makes it nice and convenient to still like spruce up the build a little bit and give it this very modern look. So yeah, we want to do all these pillars that we've placed down around the build to transform them in these very nice matte black pillars instead. So just like that, all the way around. And there we go. And then, of course, the big wall over here with a bunch of pillars, we're going to do the exact same thing. And for the walls, I would suggest using these nice modern plank structures. Now, you might think, but that's windows. They have variants to turn them into full planks to get a really nice look. So, yeah, what you kind of want to do is make sure that you get them all in. And then unfortunately, of course, you'll have to go in by hand to change all the variants, unless you can install mods. You can install the variant cycle mod, and then it becomes a little bit easier just to shoot them to kind of change them to the right variants, which does save a lot of time when building frequently. So yeah, we want to make sure that we get these all to be the right variant for that nice modern wooden look. And of course, we're going to do that on all sides for all the normal walls, and as well for these little quarter walls. Okay, and then we should be getting this kind of look, so that is already starting to look quite nice with this texture. And then what we want to do, we actually want to use the same skins for the windows. So we're just going to apply all of these all the way around the build, just like so. Here in the middle as well. There we go. There's actually quite a few variants of glass in this one custom cosmetic. You have a bunch of different options, but this one does have its own glass variation. So if we change them enough times, we'll get this very nice, clean looking glass. And from the outside, it does have a little bit of like a bluish tint to it, which I kind of like. Of course, as I said, there's many glass options in just this one custom cosmetic, let alone if you try out a few different ones too. There's plenty of options, and probably there will be one for your liking as well. So yeah, for now, we're just going to change all of these for the window into proper window textures. As you can see, quite a cool design from the outside, and from the inside you get some pretty cool clear looking windows as well. So yeah, definitely a good pick in my opinion. And we want to do that for all of these windows, of course, to get actually proper big windows to just enjoy the view out of your garage or into the garage, of course, to show off your cars. There we go. So we have some nice windows, and then of course it's time to start on the top layer, because now we have a pretty decent garage, but we definitely want something on top, and that's actually going to be quite easy. First of all, we're going to place down a beam going all the way across the top layer, connecting to the ends, And we'll do the same thing here on the back of the build too, just like that. We want to take out our ceiling. Here we can add in a little hatch frame so that we can add a ladder to get up. And then we can start adding in our ceilings across to the other side. And of course, start filling in all of those ceilings all the way across. Now, as with most of the build, it doesn't really quite matter out of what you built this. I'm just using metal so that it's decently strong, but of course you can easily use different materials, especially if you're going to do the same custom cosmetics as me, because I mean technically you could build it out of thatch and it would still look the same. The only downside, of course, it being thatch would make it a lot easier to destroy. So yeah, probably at least want to go like wood or stone so it's a little stronger. But there we go. We want to fill in all of the ceilings just like this. And then it's time to take out our metal ramps. We want to add in 2 like this. Want to make sure that we go over the edge by 1. We can go connect it all the way through to the other side. And here as well, we want to make sure that we add in those 2 for a little border. Then we want to make sure that from the foundation, of course, so not the one that sticks out, we want to go up by 6. So in total it will be 7 high, so we get actually to the center of the build just like that. Then on the other side, of course, we kind of want to start the same thing, so we want to make sure that we have that overhang on all directions by 1. And we'll go all the way across to the other side to achieve the same, just like that. And then, of course, we can start raising this up until we reach the middle, which should all line up if we did it correctly. And then, of course, we can really just start to fill in the rest of the roof all the way across and all the way around so that we get our proper roof. And the reason that we're using the metal ramp, because otherwise you get a very tall building, and this way it feels a little bit more appropriate. So we want to make sure that we start to fill in all of this just like that, all the way across until we have the roof on one side. And of course on the other side it's gonna be the exact same thing. So yeah, we just want to go all the way around and fill in that roof to create a little garage. Of course, here you can also connect it up. It should all line up if we did everything correctly, of course. And then we just want to fill in the last pieces of the roof of the garage. There we go. Then we take out a pillar, then 2 from the end. We can add in 1 pillar here. We can leave another gap of 2. We can add in another pillar. Can do the same on the other side. So 1 pillar here, leave a gap of 2, add in another pillar, and then right in the middle we should be able to pillar all the way up. Now if you're using mods and you actually have shallower walls to have the slope walls still fit inside, you can wall it in. What we're going to do for this design, however, we're going to utilize this space. So instead of closing it all the way off, which unfortunately in normal ARK you don't have the pieces that fit with ramps, we're just going to leave it open like this, because this way we can use the top layer of our garage as an actual parking for our flyers. So we have a little bit of an aviary as well as a garage building, making it a 2-in-1 design. And then of course we want to make sure that at least these pillars, we're going to all skin to the nice marble, matte marble black look that we like from the other pillars. So just like that, that blends in. Then for the roof, there's a few things you could do. Since it's ramps, there's actually not a lot of good textures that will still make it look like a proper roof. So I would honestly just keep it metal and maybe paint it black to match the pillars a little bit more. But I'll leave that completely up to you. As for these ceilings, you could go either way. You could keep the metal, you could pick any other custom cosmetic. I actually kind of like just turning them into the frontier wood. Yeah, because that's a quite nice look as well. And there we go. We can open up a garage. We have quite a bit of space in here, of course, for 2 of our garages. And then here we still want to make sure that we add in a ladder all the way to the top so that we can still also reach our dino pen up here by well, foot, I suppose, not just by flyer. And then we want to add in a little hatch frame here, just because it's a little bit more convenient so that you don't hop out of the roof as soon as you get up. But yeah, there you go. You have a little aviary on top, and you have your big garage downstairs for 2 battle rigs to be built at the same time and safely park them inside as well. Perfect, nice little addition. And of course, if you're not going to use cars, you can also just use it as a garage for your dinos instead. So here we go. This is the full design of the garage that I did. You can see it right here. Matches quite nicely with some of my other modern builds that I've done. And of course, it's just a convenient place to park your battle rigs. Inside, you'll have 2 spots free. But of course, as I said, you can also leave out the garages and just use this as a little dino pen next to your build. What I did add in was like a little thin pillar here and then go all the way across and use the skins that are in the modern structure skin pack to get this nice little light beam, which acts as a nice light inside. Yeah, just to add a little bit of detail. And then of course we have the new Mega Lab in the corner here, which is skinned with a different custom cosmetic. This is the Quantum one. It's a premium one, but it does also offer you a lot of skins for most of your craft station, which is why I usually have it. But yeah, there we go. And then up here we have, of course, the Flyer Parker. I used the Frontier skin for the wood here. Yeah, you can see you can easily fly in. RGs, pterodons, snow owls, you know, smaller flyers should easily be able to go in and out. And then you can kind of have a multi-purpose garage dino pen, whatever you want to use it for. Anyway, that's going to be it for this tutorial. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I hope to see you around in the next video. Goodbye.